Well, we begin with breaking news. Cindy Ali has been found not guilty on all three charges she faced. The Toronto mother was initially convicted in the 2011 murder of her disabled teenage daughter, but after an appeal, she was granted a new trial. Ali has maintained her daughter was killed by men who broke into their Scarborough home, but prosecutors had argued Ali staged the break-in and murdered Sainara as an act of mercy. And for more on this, we're joined again by criminal lawyer Ari Goldkind. Ari, we just spoke about this. What do you make of this verdict?
So as we discussed in the earlier hour, Jamie, it doesn't totally surprise me. Again, you have to look at the history of the case. 2011, we go back to a conviction that didn't have a lot of corroborating evidence. What that means is in a case that's sort of high profile, homicide, very serious business, you look at all the forensics, DNA, wiretaps, authorizations, anything else that tied Miss Ali to this very, very sad event, other than, Jamie, again, sorry, just setting up, other than the thought that she put her very suffering daughter that had 3 strokes the night before to the smothering. When Mr. Lockyer took on the case, this is very important to point out, he believed that the verdict was sound. He's given interviews about this, that he had initially thought, look, this is a sound conviction. Then he went to meet with Miss Ali, and instantly, and he's talked about this, upon meeting her and looking into the case, he believed that there was a miscarriage of justice. So for him to get involved in this and to take this all the way to the Court of Appeal, to have it be sent back for a new trial, to have it be judge alone with Judge Kelly, who, as I said earlier, is a whip-smart judge. It would strike me that the lack of corroborating information, the fact that the police did such an investigation and came up empty-handed, that if the only thing the Crown had was that this was a sympathy or mercy killing, that just didn't satisfy Justice Kelly, even if Justice Kelly felt that maybe she was probably guilty or likely guilty. That's just not enough in our criminal law.
What do you think happens next for Miss Ali? Could she potentially launch a civil suit in this situation?
So I get asked that a lot, which is once an accused wins. And look, this has been 13 years pretty much, and we still have her losing her daughter that she's now been acquitted of. So back to the presumption of innocence, that she's not guilty, even though she was convicted. You often will hear people say, well, why don't you sue the police? Why don't you sue the courts? Why don't you sue the Crown? Why don't you sue the criminal justice system? I don't think that's likely to work out. I'm not sure it will even be done. A jury, she was convicted over 8 years ago. It went to a Court of Appeal hearing that was quite contentious and well-reasoned. And now it's gone to a Superior Court trial judge alone, where she's been acquitted. It looks like the system, on one hand, didn't work, but then one could say it did work. But it's one of the reasons I often say the story is not told, and it's not finished until it's completely finished, which is why, as Mr. Lockyer would tell you himself, once the verdict came in many years ago, even he assumed it was sound. He met the lady, he got involved in the case, he believed she was wrongfully convicted, and the process played out. So I do not expect successful civil litigation. If there is any here, hopefully the parties move on. But again, we're talking about the loss of a very, very sad, a young girl who lived a very difficult life, whose mother was charged with smothering her. And that is now a chapter that is over, and she has her freedom back.
Criminal defense lawyer Ari Goldkind, we appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.